Wow, this is a very interesting day. I really didn't want to actually do this video. Today's a Sunday. I kind of wanted to just chill today. So, my thing is, because right now I was actually on Facebook and I was looking at certain reviews on The Last of Us 2. And it's kind of ridiculous how you see a lot of people liking the game and people hating the game. Especially YouTubers that actually just get paid to possibly play the fucking game. Now, whether they're getting paid for the company, YouTube is still paying them for their initial views that they're ranking up. Now, I don't understand certain things that people literally get on. Now, and this is what I'm talking about. A lot of people think the game is absolutely terrible due to the fact of something specific that happens within the series. Something specific happens to a certain person, and this certain person actually dies from it. If some of you have played the game, you already know who it is, and also you know how he dies. So, like, I guess I already kind of gave it up, so this is kind of a spoiler to it. Now, my thing about this, especially when it comes to a game, like a game design or a game storytelling, it's kind of cool. And it's kind of interesting of how it goes into a certain area, into a certain place where, you know, either a main character or a loved character dies. Now, the initial complaints, especially when it comes to The Last of Us 2, is things that people didn't like the idea that of how that said person dies. And, you know, the issue is they automatically think it's a terrible game and would not buy it because how said person dies. And my response to that is that you have to be absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you see a lot of people playing the game on YouTube or on stream, you don't really hear anything bad about gameplay or graphics or anything of looks. Initially, like, you know, either, you know, something that happened in the story or the ending of the story. Now, with that happening, it's a major thing that people get upset about because of the fact that they had an emotional connection with said character. Now, my response to that initially is just that, why are you so bothered on how the direction of the story went based on how the character dies? So there are multiple deaths that are constantly gruesome, even more gruesome than that. I don't understand how people are initially upset about what happened with said character. People get to a point where, like, it makes sense, like the story, it actually adds in, but they will automatically stop playing a game. Like, there was this actual Korean streamer who actually cut the game in half. It's like, dude, relax. First of all, nobody knew who you were. You were nobody. You were nobody who from the get-go. Nobody knew who you were. You know, I'm a nobody, and that the problem is, like, when it comes to a lot of like streamers or video game players, people will go to, like, you know, PewDiePie, Markiplier, you know, Jacksepticeye, sometimes Game Grumps, big names like that. Now, it gets to a point where, you know, even people start playing it. Some people who are in communities like the Facebook communities and in other areas like the game because of the gameplay. Think it's amazing. Some people will not buy it because of what happens to said character. If people are upset because of the direction of how a character is killed or where a direction of a character goes, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous. And that also means that you shouldn't be playing a game. Like, if that is a reason for why you think the game is bad because of one thing, you should not be criticizing or playing a game. The criticism also should really come from all areas, not just one. That's not, like, that won't help actual game developers or producers make a better game for anybody. Because at one point they could change something up within gameplay, they could change something up within anything else of the design, and then, you know, people won't say anything bad about it. People won't say anything is okay about it. They would even go ahead and, like, if they change something of the story directly, then it's a major, then they won't fix it. Like, or they won't go ahead and be like, oh, you know what, hey, it's not that big of a deal. Some people even thought the story was interesting. So I don't see the initial issues with it, especially when I'm looking at people play it on YouTube. It kind of makes it very ridiculous, and people are like, oh, this is ridiculous because they killed this person this way or that way. Guys, we already knew that this person was gonna die, especially when they actually revealed the game. This is kind of a thing that people are complaining about, and you know what, seriously, if you don't want to play the game because of that, you have the choice to do that. Your power is your wallet. But if you're gonna buy the game and complain about it, it kind of makes no sense, because they still have your money. They still have the money that you went ahead and put in to actually buy the game. So you're kind of on a lose-lose here. If you don't like the game and then they took your money. So that's a major thing that people, especially the gaming community, who is honestly, the gaming community is consistent of probably one of the most spoiled, spoon-fed consumers ever in business. It's really, really weird that, you know, oh, I hate this game, but I'm gonna buy the next title to see what they do. It kind of makes me laugh, because a lot of people do that stuff, especially when it came to like the Hong Kong thing for Blizzard. You know, people were all about free Hong Kong, but still had their accounts for World of Warcraft, were still playing Overwatch, were still, you know, doing Hearthstone, you know, putting their money into Hearthstone, and even still playing like games like Heroes of the Storm, still have their battle.net account, and still were putting in money towards that event. Even people were still watching, you know, Overwatch League, people were still watching the Hearthstone tournaments, everything left and right. And, you know, but apparently everybody has a god complex. Like, you know, just because you're a consumer, you think you could change anything. That's not absolutely true. You know, that's how that's just the sad truth about it. A lot of people can't change a game if it's 3,000 people who don't like the game, but then there's about 5 million who do like it. So it kind of makes no big of a difference. It's like me going ahead and doing this. Let's say if I take these two bottles right here. Let's say I fill these two soda bottles with water, right? I fill this soda bottle right here with water right up to here. You know, I have a decent amount of water. I have a decent amount of what's going on. You know, I have a decent amount of, like, you know, being able to survive out in the desert, you know, for a little bit. But if I fill up this water bottle with water up to here, I have the ability to actually last long, and I actually get more results out of this. You know, because of the fact that, hey, you know what? If I'm able to last long, because the fact that the water's up to here, because the water's up to here, there's a lot more of it. So, for instance, the small amount of water are the people that are complaining about the games and just don't have a reason to actually be upset about the damn game. But this one, especially, which is almost full to the top, are the people that actually like the game. Which one's gonna actually be chosen more? The one with the large amount of water inside of it. So it kind of doesn't make a difference for certain people to be upset over a game just because the story didn't go the way you want it. That's absolutely ridiculous and horrendous. But in the comments, please let me know what you think. Please let me know how you feel. Please let me know what you guys feel about the Last of Us game, your opinions on it. Whether it's good or bad, I understand that you have an opinion on it, but here's one thing. I will not take your opinion serious, or I will not take your thing serious if it's not an overall opinion. Let's just be real, because as I said, if people or game developers or anything of a movie director or music composer wants to get better, they need an overall criticism. They need overall criticism, not just from, like, you know, how they do it or what they can add to it or with stuff like that. Like, for instance, if it's a game, it has to be based off of, like, you know, the design of the game, gameplay, story, you know, anything that could possibly just be added for possible ideas for the game, to add in things like a multiplayer or a possible thing for anything, another idea for a game in the future. But you know, that's proper criticism. There is good and bad criticism. You know, it's just that, you know, when people pay a game, they think the bad criticism automatically is gospel. It's not. It doesn't help out anybody. It doesn't help anybody get produce a better product for you. So that's one thing about it. But definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on your notifications when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Make sure to subscribe to our moderators, support our sponsors, and definitely go ahead and check out our merchandise. Since it is Pride Month, we do have LGBT based merchandise. You can definitely click on the link at the bottom to check that out. Each purchase of the merchandise, any sales that we make of the LGBT products for the EHG community will go straight to Zebra Coalition, which helps out LGBTQ represented students or people in regards to special like things like, you know, medical bills, helping feed them and everything, and so on and so forth. So anything can help out with that. But this is your boy CrazyBase98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community, and stay tuned for another video.